What's up, guys? Sean Mayo here. Super excited about talking about wholesale, like always. Yeah, just giving people a few seconds to come in here, then we'll get started. You guys have any questions? Depending on how you're watching, just hit the Q&A button up at the top or the bottom, or leave a message in the chat, and we'll try and get to it. Tonight, we're going to be talking about growing your business from doing an arbitrage model, either retail arbitrage or online arbitrage, and growing into a wholesale model or adding wholesale into the mix. Yeah, so we'll just get right into it. Oops, wrong one. So yeah, if you're new to me, I've been selling on Amazon since 2012, coaching Amazon sellers for about 7 years. We've done retail arbitrage, online arbitrage, and wholesale as well. So we kind of cover everything but private label, tons of resources, tons of free stuff. You can just go to my website, seanmail.com, find out all kinds of stuff about what we do and all the free stuff we offer, from ungating, OA lists, RA lists, all that good stuff. So tonight we're going to talk about, if you're doing retail arbitrage or online arbitrage, how to grow that into wholesale, as we said. So you know, if you need some help with that, let me know. And you know, basically, you know, we've done all the stuff, the retail arbitrage, going to stores, you know, scanning items, scanning every item on a shelf, a rack, an aisle, you know, to find those few good items, and then, you know, slowly progressed into doing online arbitrage, which is sourcing those items from online stores, and we've grown into wholesale, which is by far my favorite way to source. So, you know, it's great when once you find a good product, you can, you know, you can reach out to that brand, open a wholesale account, and you probably, if you're running a legitimate business already, you probably have everything you need. If not, we got free videos on YouTube, you know, creating an LLC, getting your FEIN number, getting your sales tax ID, and basically every company that's going to do wholesale with you in the United States is going to need, you know, the same thing, which is your reseller permit. That's really all that they want to see. So, you know, basically with that reseller's permit just shows them that you don't need to have, they don't need to collect sales tax from you. And if they get audited, they're going to have to prove that they didn't have to collect sales tax from basically everybody that they do business with. So if not, they should have collected sales tax. They're going to get in a lot of trouble. You know, so you kind of know that going into it, that they're going to need that kind of information. So, you know, the best way to get into that, you know, we get lots of questions, you know, if I could just have, you know, one wholesale distributor or one brand, you know, to be able to get that information from, to open an account, then, you know, then everything would be perfect, right? Reality isn't quite that easy, and you already have that information. And hopefully with this this webinar, I'm going to show you how you can go out and find that information yourself. Yes, we do sell, you know, wholesale lists and subscriptions and all that stuff. But, you know, you may not need that if you are just, you know, if you're just starting out, if you're just looking to get your shoe in the door, you probably already have all that information you need. So, the best way to do that is we'll just go over to Amazon. I've pulled up a few things. I just went to, Pet Supplies, pulled a random one up. I'd never heard of this Taste of the Wild. So I thought that was as good as any. And if we look at if we go and look at the listing, we can see that Amazon is selling this. But they're just because they sell one product from a brand doesn't mean that they're selling all of them. And we're going to use this as an example. Let's say you're already finding this, at retail, at Walmart or whatever, and you're sending it into Amazon. A lot of people don't like selling heavier stuff, dog food, cat food, you know, cat litter, cleaning supplies, stuff like that. But I mean, we've always done very well with it. Obviously you have to average in that weight, which it's very simple. It's usually, a weight just printed right on there. It's not like, maybe detergent or something where you need to weigh. What dog food's going to weigh, and just because one item from a dog food company, weighs whatever this is, 10 pounds, 20 pounds, 50 pounds, is a 28-pound bag. They have 5-pound and 14-pound bags as well, and I'm sure they have a ton of varieties, and they also probably sell lots of different products. So this usually isn't the only thing they're selling. And a great way to do that is just to look at their store. And if they don't have a store, just look at, the brand of the products they sell. Best way to do that is, it says visit their store, but if they didn't have a store set up, it would just, have the brand name there. So we just click on that and we can see they sell a ton of different styles, obviously here. And we can scroll down and see some of the different product lines they have. Ancient grains, grain-free, the prey line, recipes, it looks like. And there's probably tons of more stuff they don't even, that's not even listed on Amazon. So, there's probably going to be a ton of great products. And, when you open a wholesale account, you're going to have access to everything that brand is doing, not just the one, not just the one item, right? So you open an account to sell whatever this was, the Taste of the Wild, grain-free, adult, whatever. So, the products don't matter. The more disconnected you get from the products, a lot of sellers get married to a product. If it's not profitable, sell it out and start selling something else. They're just, it's just stuff. And you need to remember, they're just, widgets that you're buying and selling, and not products that that you want to be, married to and get too invested in. So, I literally, if this was a product you were already selling, I literally just go to Google and, we search for Taste of the Wild. We find their website. You can see here, I just searched for Taste of the Wild, and down here, first one past the ads, is their website. And there's a few ways to find wholesale information. I believe this one was pretty easy. This one is pretty easy, but each website is a little different as far as doing wholesale. So the best way is usually to go to the bottom, and there's going to be some information here. There's a partner portal. Sometimes there'll be something about be a reseller, or retailers. There's a partner portal, and there's a become a retailer section. So it makes it pretty straightforward, cut and dry. And all we really need to do is click on this. and then we can, see what information they need to set up a wholesale account. Other cases, they may not have a form or whatever it is that's going to be on that link. Um, Sometimes you got to go to the about page or company info or the frequently asked questions, or sometimes we just simply have to go to, their contact us page. They do have an email button here. So that's going to email them directly. And at that point, we're basically going to tell them, I am that we're a retailer, and we're going to tell them where we're located, and, that we're a small business and we're looking to sell their products. It's just probably going to be some kind of virtual assistant, probably in another country. So, we don't have to give them the whole speech about, that we're selling on Amazon and all that. There's plenty of time for that later on. We're just trying to get to whoever's going to be in charge of getting our wholesale account set up. So we'll click on become a retailer. And there's going to be a simple form to fill out, country, first name, last name, our business name, address, all simple stuff, how you want to be contacted, comments. I'm going to put my standard email that I would send out. I'm going to put that into the comment section. And we do have free templates of all of that. If you basically buy any of our wholesale products, you'll have free access to our templates on that. So if you were to buy any of our wholesale lists, you're going to get all kinds of training and all that. Most of you guys probably already have that, but you'll get our template letters, which are the exact same emails that we've used to open probably thousands of wholesale accounts at this point. So we'll be able to, you'll be able to do the same thing that we're doing with a high 90 percentile of response rate instead of whatever it is that most of the other guys are claiming. And that's really all you need to do. You say you're not a robot, you hit submit, and then they're going to reach out to you, and they're going to either give you information on setting up a wholesale account directly with them, which it looks like they obviously do, or they'll give you their distributor information. There are really a handful of companies out there that are not that don't want to sell direct. Hasbro, for example, Lego, Procter and Gamble wants you to buy truckloads of paper supplies at a time. So you may need to go through a distributor to do that. But for the most part, you're going to be buying direct from them. Times have changed. If you've tried doing wholesale in the past, where those big box stores are always trying to, those big box stores were able to buy 100 truckloads in the past. Walmart and Kmart and Sears and all of those companies out there were buying so much volume that maybe Mattel or Hasbro. I usually use toys as an example because we buy a lot of toys and a lot of stuff in volume since we have 3 retail toy stores. So, we don't necessarily, we're buying, direct from some companies that just won't sell direct. But, a lot of those big brands in the past did not want to sell direct to you. They did not want to let you open an account. But things have really changed now since all of those big box stores, for the most part are gone. I mean, you have Best Buy and, Target and Walmart, and there's not really much that can compete with those guys anymore. So that's put us in a great position. That lets us start to buy from those companies now. That lets lets those MOQs or minimum order quantities go down considerably, where they wanted you to buy pallets or wanted you to buy a truckload. Now it's buying a case of an item, or a couple $100 minimum order, and they're splitting cases, and they're really willing to work with small businesses. So even if you were not approved at some point in the past, now they're really open to doing business with you. Mattel, for example, I've told this story before, but our rep was the national sales rep for Toys R Us. And now we're a small business, obviously. No matter, to become not a small business, you have to be selling tens or hundreds of millions of dollars. So basically, almost every Amazon seller is still going to be considered a small business, no matter how big you are. So that's put us in a great position where we can now be doing business with, with these companies that didn't want to do business with us in the past. We were able, even as a small seller, even when we had one store the last time we went to the New York Toy Fair, we were able to sit down with reps from Mattel and be able to deal with actual people, when in the past I'm sure they didn't even have any interest in talking to us. And the same goes for hundreds, if not thousands, of other brands that have just opened up and is more willing to deal with us. So whatever fears you had about doing wholesale, minimum order quantities, business size, they really don't know how big your business is. Those records aren't really public, so it's not out there. If they know how long you've been in business if they do the research, and most of them aren't. But in the end, they're only worried about having another customer to open an account and buy their products and get their products out into the world. I mean, that's what I want. I want everybody to know about the products that I create, and it's the same for physical. If it's toy products or dog food or automotive parts or over-the-counter medicine, they want everybody to know about those products, and we're helping their business to grow by bringing it to a wider audience. And as long as you keep that in mind, you're going to do very well, in the wholesale model. You're going to help Amazon be able to fulfill more products for their customers, and you're going to be able to help, these brands go to a wider audience, be more available to their audience, which is all they want. The reason why most brands don't like Amazon sellers, you hear all the hate, and that people won't even respond to them, and that's because of us. That's us as Amazon sellers, and maybe some shady people selling, coaching, and old outdated courses are telling you, that you should get a 2% response rate, and all this other stuff, and open an account, get a list, and move on to the next one, which costs money to those brands. Like, they have to be paying staff to open accounts and get all the paperwork and go back and forth and put you in the system, and that takes time, and time is money. So if you can not do that, if you can find other ways around that, if you can help their company instead of being a detriment to it, they're going to help you out. And we've spent a lot of money, tens of thousands of dollars, developing the emails that we use, and we specifically don't tell them that we're Amazon sellers to begin with. But on the other side of that, we don't lie. If they ask if we're an Amazon seller, we're going to tell them we are. But there's no reason that you have to start that conversation saying you're an Amazon seller. We say we have a list of products we're interested in, and we just need pricing, and we need to open an account, and they help us open an account, and we're going to look at that, and if the pricing is right, we're going to buy from them. But if you say, "Hi, I'm an Amazon seller, can I have a list of your products?" they're probably just going to ignore your email. But if you say, "Hey, I'm a small business. I've researched your company. I'm interested in opening an account. I already know the products that I want. And here's the products, and here's my sales tax ID. And this is everything you need to open an account. They may have some specific things they want for you to fill out a form or sign an application. But I have opened wholesale accounts within maybe 10 minutes of ever sending them an email, because I gave them everything that they need on that first contact. So they can go in, they can open that account, and if you were that company, what would you rather do? Would you rather be um, would you rather be contacted by the guy who says, "Hey, can I have a list of your price list?" Or would you rather talk to somebody with all their stuff together, it's giving you everything that you're going to have to ask the other guy for, and have everything already ready? You already know what products you want to buy. You just need pricing, you need a price list, and you're ready to roll. And that's why we get such a great response every time we reach out to a brand. Um, let's see if the polls are working. So are any of you already buying or selling in wholesale? I think we got a little poll up there. If you could just get the answer to that, and we'll keep rolling. So as I was talking about having, a wide a wide net when you open a wholesale account. You're not just opening an account to buy one brand or one item. A lot of products are owned by a bigger company, and the same goes for this. This is still the same company, the Taste of the Wild pet food, and we've seen all the products that they have, all the product lines, the Prey, the Taste of the Wild. They really support their customers. Obviously, they have pictures of their customers up. They have recipes, but they're owned by another company, which is Diamond Pet Foods. Um, so not only when you open an account for Taste of the Wild, you're going to be opening an account with Diamond, and you're going to be able to sell all the products from that brand. And that's really where we've been able to excel doing wholesale. When we open, we find a good selling product. Maybe we found that doing arbitrage that you already have. Um, maybe you found it wholesale, but you probably found it in a store. You reach out to that brand, then you get access to everything from that brand and all the other products that aren't listed on Amazon, which is usually considerable. And not only that, if you have high-ranking items that people are buying, at retail of some kind, online or retail arbitrage, then you go over to a wholesale model. You can sell those products a lot more, let's say, reasonably priced at a lower price point, and you're going to that sales rank is going to shoot down, which is what we want. We always want a better sales rank. More sales means a better sales rank, which means it's going to be seen more and more people are going to buy it. So the more reasonably priced you can make a product, the better off you're going to be. And there's probably some products that aren't selling very well just because of a high price point. And when you can bring that down, that's going to be better for you and them and Amazon. Everybody's going to be making more money because of that. So it looks like most of you guys are not selling on are not buying wholesale yet, which is fine. Everybody has to start somewhere. Awesome. So I hope this has helped you guys out. We put a little package together for the webinar tonight. So if you have any questions, please hit that Q&A button or chat, or if you're on YouTube, leave a comment and we'll try and answer you. Even if you're not watching it live, we do monitor that. So we'd be more than happy to answer you if if you leave a message afterwards. So okay, so we had a question from another Sean. What questions should I be prepared to answer that may factor into whether they will open me an account? Are there preparations that I can action in advance to make approval more likely? We don't, if we have a good application, then you really don't have a lot of, negative questions. Now, we have built this cold calling script. So if you've ever bought anything wholesale from me, really, you already have access to that. So we have put this cold calling script, which is basically, most of the negative, I won't say negatives, but, there's kind of a script for when you're calling, and then a lot of the issues that people have with you as a wholesaler or selling on Amazon that they're going to, that will help that out with. Like I said, we also have letters that you basically, it's the exact same letter that we use. This is all, we have it all in Google Sheets. So, as we need to tweak it over time, doing wholesale and especially with Amazon, things are constantly changing. So we've done like all of our wholesale lists, all of our products, all our OA lists, like everything we do, we use Google Drive. So if there's a mistake, if there's an error, if something changes, if a link changes, we can just go in there and it fixes everything on the fly. So as we need to change our letters, we're going to update them in Google Drive for you as well. And those are the exact same letters we use. And I paid people a lot of money to get those. We don't get a lot of questions. The questions you may have is, what is your sales volume, or what, how much do you expect to sell over, the course of a year? How much do you sell a month, or would you sell a quarter of our products, which you can easily answer because, you can do the research, you can look on Keepa and see how many price drops and get a good estimation. A lot of the information that you get, will be useful to being able to make contact with these brands. But in reality, most of them, and I say most, but the vast majority of them are really just trying to sell their products to a wider audience. Some are like super worried about the integrity of their brand and, not dropping below a certain price, things like that. And, those are valid issues, but you kind of have to take those on a case by case basis. And, some want you to call, but if you can fill out a form, if you can do it over email, that's always best because you have a written record of what you're doing. I say the same thing about working with Amazon. Try not to call if possible when you have a case, because what they tell you on the phone, they may not write that in the report for that case. And so when you get a written response from Amazon, and it's the same with dealing with these companies, when you have a written response, you have proof of what they told you. So they can't say, well, we didn't say that, because you have an email, or you have a case log proving that they did say that. So, really it's not as complicated to open most wholesale accounts. And if you're, like I was saying, if you're doing it over email, then you have time to get that response together, especially if you're calling. There's really three big problems with calling. The one is obviously the record. Another one is, you may not be able to get a hold of somebody when you're calling. You're talking to a secretary or maybe a customer support person when you're calling trying to open a wholesale account. You're really not going to be dealing with anybody who can make a real decision. And the third issue when calling is, you don't have time for a response. If you do contact the right person, if you are able to reach them, if they are available and not on a call or out of the office, then you're still going to be able to, you'll have time to respond to them. What do you think, what are your annual sales, or what do you think your monthly sales of this product? You can't just, throw a lot of that stuff off the cuff. I mean, we can, but if you're new at this and don't have a lot of history doing it, you may have some issues. So always better to get everything in writing. And the plus side is that you'll have time to organize your answers and maybe do some research if they're asking some kind of a specific question. Next, Peter had asked, do they ship directly to the warehouse? Do they ship directly to the warehouse if required? So we do deal with companies who will, in those kind of situations. And again, if you're not trying to tell them that you're selling on Amazon, which again, don't hide that if they ask, but if you're not trying to tell them that, if you give them an Amazon, shipping label, then obviously they're going to figure it out. But there are some downsides to that. If you're going through a prep center, obviously shipping direct is going to be better. You can pay Amazon to label things, but again, it's not going to be labeled if you're shipping it direct. So you do have to worry about that. You would have to make sure the listings are ones that you could pay Amazon to label, because not everything is eligible. But we deal with many toy stores. Basically, the smaller the company, the more open they're going to be to do that. And on the plus side for them is you're supplying the shipping, so you don't have to worry about them preparing the order, getting the shipping done, or maybe overcharging for shipping, or paying. You're paying probably UPS's shipping rates, which, I mean, if we all should know it's a lot cheaper to use Amazon's partner shipping rates. So it's probably going to be cheaper on freight, if you do it. And literally all you have to do is say, instead of you billing me, can I just send my shipping labels? And usually you're just dealing with like a warehouse manager or a supervisor. They'll put you in touch with them and you're mailing them the labels directly. There are a few companies who are familiar with Amazon, which you may not be able to find good rates with, but we do deal with some companies that do toy liquidation, which isn't like broken or shelf pulls. It's usually like there's a lot of end of life stuff in the toys. So Lego, for example, has a 24 months let's say shelf life, and then they get retired for the most part. Some are a lot less, movie tie-ins. Some could be more, like their city stuff kind of lasts a little bit more, but normal stuff, Spider-Man, or the regular lines, or Batman superhero stuff, things like that, Star Wars. Usually it's going to have a 24-month shelf life or so, usually 18 to 24 months. So when it gets to the end of that, and Lego will not send directly to Amazon for you, by the way, but I'm just using it as an example. When it gets to that period of time, it's going to they're going to discount things, and we buy a lot of stuff that's kind of in the retirement time, which is when prices really go up. It's the only way to make money with like Legos and Mega Constructs and things like that, is to buy it and kind of wait till it's about to retire. A wholesale account with Lego is really a dumb idea for Amazon sellers, because they only give you 15% off of retail price. Amazon's you know, their rates are more than 15% to sell a Lego. So like you can never make money selling at retail. Plus you have 200-300 sellers, plus Amazon might be on it and even selling at less than retail. So it's kind of a no-win opportunity unless you're buying stuff that's about to retire and then selling it after they retire when nobody else can get it. And we do buy a lot of brand new releases, and then we buy a lot of stuff that's kind of end of life for Amazon. So like popular toys that may be about to retire, you know, and then they'll discount that stuff out, and then we'll buy that now. You know, but smaller companies are going to be more open to letting you ship. I mean, you're trying to deal with Procter & Gamble and like all these giant brands. Bayer, they're not going to ship directly to Amazon for you. You know, and in those cases, you know, you want to use a prep center. And if you're already using a prep center, um, a good tip is asking about wholesale rates because there's a lot less to inspect, right? It's a sealed box of all the same product. You know, it's not like one of this and two of this and four of these from different like Target or Walmart stores, the way that they ship to you. You know, so um, you know, when you're doing wholesale and you use a prep center, they usually have discounted rates for wholesale shipments. Plus, stuff comes in, you know, a lot bigger bulk. You're buying by cases and so on. So Peter had asked about our wholesale lists. Are they updated? The latest lists are completely updated. Old ones may not be that relevant. So yes, we periodically update all of our wholesale lists. We have about a dozen of them out now, and I was about to talk about them, but yeah, we periodically update them. You know, if listings were removed from Amazon, we'll remove those. We also add new listings. We don't add new brands. Obviously, you paid for the specific brands that you bought in that list. But, you know, let's say, again, let's keep with Lego, just an example of something that's not going to take money from somebody. Like with Lego, you know, they're always adding new products. So, but if products are removed from the catalog, like that ASIN doesn't exist on Amazon anymore, we'll remove those from the list. If there's new ones from those brands that were already included in the list, we will add that information, obviously update sales ranks, things like that. Company info, if it changes, which rarely happens, but if we get reports of those changes, we do update all of that information. And with that, we've created a kind of a special product just for the webinar tonight and this week, kind of a Wholesale Essentials package, like all the best stuff for wholesale that we do. A year access to our weekly wholesale brand subscription. So we do have a subscription. I believe it's like $30 a month. And every week you get 10 new brands, and we show you all the products from those brands and kind of the top brands that you can open an account with. So every week you get access to that. You get a full year full access, lifetime access to our, and I'll come back to the wholesale directories, but lifetime access to our restricted brands list, which is a list of known restricted brands, brands that are restricted to like some of our top clients, us as well, that you know, it's good for two things: either brands that you might want to stay away from, or a lot of people go through that list and they will get ungated in those brands. So then you kind of have an exclusivity where a lot of other people can't sell in those brands. You just apply, get a auto ungated in the brand. And I'm not saying you can get auto ungated in every brand, but you know, that's a good start to research and get ungated in a lot of brands that other people may not have access to. And really, the newer the seller you are, the easier it is to get ungated, because you don't have bad stuff on you. You know, so like a brand new seller can easily get ungated in way more than even probably us, and we're ungated in thousands of brands. But it's the newer you are, the easier it is. So if you're just getting going, or if you haven't sold wholesale You know, the restricted brands list is a great place to get started. Either go out, reach out to those brands and open accounts, or just apply to get hopefully get auto engaged in a lot of those brands. And then, you know, all the wholesale training that we talked about. And we have 17 different wholesale directories that are all huge. And you get access to all of them. We sold those for up to $200 per list. So we kind of put this all together for you guys. Let's see. Um, and I'll show you a breakdown of all that. So you can come back in here. Actually, I'll put this in the chat so you guys can see it. Everybody. And so these are all the brands, and you can dive a little deeper into them, but you know, pretty much any categories you want to go in, we have covered, and we're always working on new ones. We have 3 categories in home. Actually, there's 4, including the home and kitchen one. 2 in baby, 1 in beauty. We've got 3 groceries, a specific coffee directory, which is great if you haven't kind of delve into coffee. Coffee is great for, I'm not a fan of private label, but even I know there's a lot of people killing it with private label, wholesale, arbitrage. Like, do not sleep on coffee. There's so much to be made in coffee, no matter how you're sourcing that. Our wholesale toys directories, the #1 list is not available for sale. It's only, we sold, I think, 50 of those. And they sold out, I think, in hours. That was our first list we made. And we promised never to sell that again. So that one's never available. Patio, lawn, and garden. And then we have 2 lists that are brand new from for sourcing to sell on Walmart. So if you're selling on Walmart or looking to sell on Walmart, these are great products that you could be selling on the Walmart platform. Then I said our restricted brands list, which has 1,900 restricted brands. It grows almost every day. We're always putting ones on there. You know, all of our training webinars we did on almost every one of these. And it's only $299. That's lifetime access to all of that, except for you know, the weekly wholesale list, which is a 1-year access, which we usually only sell by the month. $299 for all that, or any of those are available individually. If you just want to buy one wholesale list, anything like that, you can go to SeanMayo.com, see all the stuff that we do right here, and there's tons more. You know, we have tons of products. I really don't have time to go over all of them, but yeah. Any other questions before we wrap it up? We're going to be back in another week or 2. There's a ton of other topics that I want to cover, like using you know, tactical arbitrage for your wholesale sourcing, as well as showing you how we do it for online arbitrage, all that good stuff. Yeah, and thanks for coming. We'll send out a replay of this if you signed up for the webinar, and we'll